So my smart thermostat, what it would do, I have a hard time explaining what it would do. Because it's just weird. So what would happen is you would think it was calibrated wrong. But it's not that, because I tried to recalibrate it. What would happen was, so let's say it was 68 in my house. That's what it actually was.
Okay.
It would read that it was like, it would say it was like 67 in the house, okay? That's what it was saying.
Unacceptable.
Okay, now listen. Then I would turn the heat up to 68 so it would come on and warm it up a degree. But then, come to find out, it's actually way colder than 67. So the actual temperature you feel is 68. It's reading that it's 67, so that's wrong first off. But really, oh wait, no, I'm sorry, you're right. I messed that up. It's like 61 in the house, and it's reading that it's 67. Okay, so I turn it to.
Clicked off the video.
I'm sorry, I turn it up to 68.
Yeah.
And then it drops down, saying now it's 61 in the house.
Okay.
So it has to heat up 5 degrees to get back to normal. So we'd just be roasting in our house.
76 in the house.
Yes, we'd be just dead in our house.
Crappy thermostat.
Yeah, so we went back. I totally didn't know that.
Her
grandpa works on heating and air conditioning. I didn't know that, so he just came in and put in the old one for us.
You know who else does?
Chad. I knew you did.
I basically own a company, but that's
I know you do.
He's a whole expert.
Speaking of which, if you could start a company right now, you have $1 million. Okay, you can start a company.
Dude, why are you talking like that?
Start? What are we gonna start?
Welcome to Guys Afternoon In.
Is it me or is he talking like that dude he just showed us a video of? You have $1 million. That's what he just said.
What?
That's what you just like very subtly. You were
I
like,
think you're tripping.
You got $1 million. Okay.
Am I weird? Or is he weird?
I think he's tripping.
Just the thermostat's getting to him?
Yeah, it's the thermostat.
I'm feeling 81, 82.
So I would start... I'd probably...
Is it too late to get on the frozen, shaved ice? Or is that gone?
There's actually one for sale here.
Word?
Like a business, yeah.
It's $1,001.
Gone.
That's gone?
Yeah.
Remember that was really big?
Drive-through coffee.
That was
Drive-through
huge.
coffee. That's huge.
That's
right
the
now.
big one.
7
now.
Brew.
Yeah. There's Shadrack's in East Arkansas.
Meshack's.
Yeah. Meshack's, South Arkansas. We have the market cornered. Yeah.
I would either do like a restaurant, like a steak restaurant that makes good steak. Like almost every restaurant here doesn't make good steak.
And
here we are.
Okay.
And here we are.
I would either do that,
Literally
or I would do
the most difficult kind of business to run.
an off-road parts store, like in person. I know some places have those, but like nowhere around here has that. Like where you can buy stuff for your vehicle instead of having to order it.
I get that.
I mean, there's a couple of places that build stuff for you, but I don't know if you can just go in and buy stuff.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
I would open...
That's where my $1 million is going.
Like an action park where, like, definitely all of the rides could kill you, but you just sign a waiver.
You just sign a waiver.
Yeah, and it's like, and you know that going in, so it's like...
So, from what I'm told, to my understanding, signing a waiver doesn't still mean you can't get sued.
No, you can still get sued. They just won't get anything.
Yeah.
Like you'll still have to go to court, but they signed the waiver.
Well, so like the reason we didn't really do like the whole waiver thing at like Locomotion, like for go-karts, whatever. Believe it or not, a lot of injuries on go-karts. Don't do that.
Severed limbs.
Yeah.
Severed toes.
Yeah.
They're a death trap apparently. Apparently, I was told the reason we wouldn't do that is because it didn't do anything.
It does stuff, but
It's got to.
If you're doing something illegal already, it doesn't matter if they sign the waiver. You know, like an actual action park. If people were dying there like every day, you'd get shut down.
Say, whoa, dude, they signed the waiver.
Yeah. But like, there's weird stuff like apartments. You'll notice they never clear the sidewalk or the parking lot when it snows or ices, because if they do anything to try to clear it, and they miss a spot or something, and then somebody gets hurt on that, then it's their fault. But if they don't, if their policy is not to do anything, then they're not responsible. It's just
interesting.
And that's why I had to dig my car out of the ice 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
So fun fact.
I have moved since then.
I feel like my money, I don't know, I'm just trying to think about something that's always going to be done. I feel like people aren't going to stop tanning, despite the possibility of getting cancer. I feel like that's a good place to throw.
Why would you?
$1 million.
You know, that's never going anywhere.
I've never been tanning.
McDonald's?
I don't plan on it.
That's not going anywhere. I'll just invest in McDonald's.
You think?
Why
I don't know.
why the heck not?
With the uprise in people attempting to be more healthy, I would think McDonald's.
Dude, McDonald's is not going anywhere.
They haven't suffered at all. You don't think?
You really? No.
Well, at least throw it in a good one.
Throw a second salad on the menu and people will still eat there.
Yeah, they go bonkers.
Dude, at least do a good one like Wendy's.
Yeah, but they don't have the like marketing and everything
They got
McDonald's
the 4
does.
for $4.
Their online marketing is amazing.
Their Twitter accounts are.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
They're pretty savage. Dude, it's like 5 for $4 now.
Yeah, the
I saw a
$5 biggie
tweet
bag, dude.
that was like,
How far can we take this?
it was like
10 for $4.
me in 1997. Wow, the Coca-Cola polar bears are really cool every Christmas. Me in 2015. The Wendy's Twitter told me to kill myself.
So I started working to get my real estate license. So that's new.
There you go. Hey, $1 million, $1 million.
So-
And
real
it's so
estate.
funny. I actually prefacing this, like you have to like take a 50-hour course, and it's so funny because I just started learning about, or I already learned about, and I'm already done through it, which I probably forgot most of it. We were talking about the other day, or like 2 podcasts ago, or 3, where you can come and pretty much set up shop in someone's house and then make it your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned about that like
Yeah.
2 days ago.
So is that a new plan for you?
Hey, it's legal, totally legal, dude. Like it's like the only requirements are that like you have to pay taxes on it or something like that, and then it has to be open and notorious. So like,
So the government won't kick you out of someone else's house until you don't pay them for it.
so like a good example of what it used.
That sounds like our government, though, doesn't it?
A good example that it used was like if someone bought a house and like moved away temporarily, but for like a couple years, and someone just moved in there and started receiving mail, and then like all their neighbors knew them, like, oh yeah, that's the Johnson's house, and it's their house.
It's like,
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm thinking the government's like, yeah, that guy, we getting our
Yeah, it's weird, dude. I'm learning that you can get screwed like a lot of ways, like buying a house or something. Like apparently someone can accidentally double sell a house, and whoever files like on public records the sale first gets the house. Like you can close, someone can close at 8 o'clock, and then someone can close on the same house same day at 9 o'clock. And if the 9 o'clock person that signed after files publicly and it's on public records before the 8 o'clock person, it's their house.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they
Brutal.
usually kind
Brutal.
of don't do that by only accepting one offer.
I know. I'm learning all this useless
Yeah,
bull
sounds
crap.
Like a cool real estate agent.
Listen, we'll just go for it, and then we'll beat him to the punch, okay?
It's like, I sold this house an hour ago, but if you take that paperwork right now, you can still beat him. I'm going to get an angry
we didn't
phone
agree to
call
this.
later.
That's not what the paper says.
You signed the waiver.
What made you want to take up this real estate?
Just 'cause, like,
venture?
I think it'll be good side money until I build enough clientele for it to be a full-time deal. Like, there's this guy, like, the guy who sold me my house is a friend of Kirkland's. And so he actually got laid off from his job like a year ago. I think he worked on heating and air conditioning too. And he had been wanting to do real estate, so he decided to go ahead and do it. And like at the time, he bought a townhouse. He bought one, like knocking on people's doors. And he knocked on the door of this old lady and was like, "Hey, you want to sell your townhouse?" And she said, "Sure." They worked out a deal. He bought it for like $90,000. Here we are a year later. He's selling it for $150,000, and he's gonna pocket like $60-something thousand. And then he's gonna like invest in another property and all that. And he's still selling houses, and it sounds like a good gig. So
I'm just imagining like somebody comes up to our door. Hey, you want to sell this place?
you're telling me if someone was like $400,000, I'll give you right now?
Oh yeah, no, I would do it for $400,000.
Yeah, like that's unrealistic, but I'm just saying. Chad's like,
According. No, look, that is totally fine,
That would get me completely out of debt and buy another house.
yeah.
and I'll have a room there.
Exactly.
It's like, I can sleep in my car for 3 months until you get another house.
Yep. Yeah, like I'm learning that it's basically making you learn like real estate law, like
Yeah.
law stuff. like that attorneys would need, that I will never need. So it's kind of annoying. But
I was thinking about doing that, and then I just didn't.
I know. I've been literally thinking about doing it for like a year and a half, and then finally my
Great
friend,
contribution.
he has 2.
I'm trying.
My friend at work has 2, and he was like, "Oh, I'm doing it." I was like, "Well, I guess I'm doing it." So, see where it goes.
I said the average price in Fayetteville right now is like $148 a square foot.
I was gonna say, dude,
Which
it's
puts
hard
this
to.
house at about $350,000.
I was gonna say it's hard to find a decent house for less than $200,000 right now. Like, and that's
Fayetteville.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like anywhere. Like I've tossed around the idea of selling our house because we can already get with the market get a lot more than we paid for it.
Yeah.
And I've been looking though to see what's available. Not a lot available for a decent price. So
I think if I were to move, I would build a house.
yeah, that's what ideally we want to do. But you apparently have to have like 30% down to build a house.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not.
A lot of people
Not
ask
especially
for a
like
lot up
RD.
front.
Like
I don't know if you can do that for building a house.
yeah, you can. Yeah. I just had a friend do it just right here in Farmington.
All right, well, let's do it.
What? Isn't getting a house built usually cheaper than buying a house that's already built?
Sometimes.
Not all
It
the time.
really depends, like on the price of
can-
lumber. Right now, it's probably a lot more because lumber is really
Yeah.
freaking expensive
Yeah,
right
now
now.
it's probably not
So the difference is, I mean, you got to wait
Well, and that's
3
kinda
to 9 months.
You can get a better house you can get a house you like more
Yeah.
for around the same amount of money because it's,
Yeah.
it's
you're
about the
like,
same.
You've
You
designed
customize
it, right?
it, yeah.
You can
Yeah.
cut, yeah. You can
Or
customize it.
if we build, we want to do one of those barn dominiums, which is a house. What?
Everybody's wanting to do.
I know, because the
barn
price
dominiums
per
right
square foot's a lot cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get like a 5,000 square foot house for what normally like a 2,500 square foot house would cost.
What's a
So you
barn?
So
build a
you
barn and
use-
you live in a little part of it.
So yeah, it's like you build. It's like made out of like metal and stuff instead of like wood. It's reinforced.
It's
and
really
stuff.
quiet when it hails.
Yeah. And then, but a lot of people, you make it, the inside's just like a house. And then a lot of people, you have a big shop connected to it.
It sounds
Great
like
in
one of those things,
tornadoes.
It's like a trending
fun.
thing right now, but here in 20 years, everybody's going to go, why were we doing that?
I agree. It's like
I think
the
that's
tiny house
everything,
thing.
though. Everything
house
comes and
thing.
goes in waves.
Everybody's like, tiny houses are awesome. And then they live in it for
Literally,
3 days
what
with their
is
spouse.
what's awesome about a tiny house?
Nothing.
It's just neat.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
you
just
see,
neat.
you can have a
The
tiny
only
house.
thing I would do like that involves a tiny house would be like a van.
I'd rent it out.
Like,
Yeah.
and so I can travel.
Like
If
Ash.
you have one hobby, tiny house is off the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, that's it.
Like Ashlyn's friend, her best friend that Chad knows about. She like I get it in her situation. She's single, going to school. She just bought a tiny house. I'm like, okay, that makes more sense.
Well, it's like if you're gonna 1-bedroom apartment, tiny house.
Right. You
That's
can,
the
you can
same
at least
thing.
customize a tiny house.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
And
But it's
then-
not a house. It's like it's not
It's
a home.
a shipping container with furniture.
You cannot turn this tiny house into a home.
There have been people imprisoned in bigger spaces.
Yeah. No jokes.
Speaking of shipping containers, that's the house I want to build. It's
There's a
container
shipping
house.
container house I saw a picture of, and like it looked like it was Arizona, like out in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally like you know the little jacks thing where you had the ball and jacks and you
Yeah.
bounce the ball. It looked just like that, like coming out in different directions. It was weird looking, but it's super modern on the inside. It's just a bunch of white shipping
I think
containers.
there's an Airbnb one in Little Rock.
There's
Which I
a
thought was
bunch.
weird.
There's a bunch here in just South Fayetteville. There's one that they had built, and the outside of it looks like a Marshall guitar amp.
Ooh,
Hmm.
that's more or less a tiny house, except tiny houses are just wood.
Yeah.
It's like the same size.
See, I feel like if I was gonna get a house built, the actual house part wouldn't be that big. I would just want a really big space for a garage to
Barn
for
dominiums
All of
for
the
you, dude.
cars he has.
Barn dominium's your thing
the cars I'm gonna have. I don't like that.
for my
negativity.
Forerunner.
When I win the lottery.
When I be-
So a tiny house. If there's a tornado, you're just done, right?
Yeah, you
I
die.
mean, it's about.
You're just done.
I feel like it's about as secure as a normal. Well, it's not on a slab, I don't guess.
If a tornado can pick up the whole thing in one go, you're out.
You just take the gamble that
I
you're not
feel
going to
like
have a
it's-
tornado.
If you get a tiny house here, you have to have a storm shelter.
That's one thing. Like I was talking to Ash. Like if we did build a barn dominium, I would have to have a storm shelter built because I
My
wouldn't
boss
trust.
has one in their garage where you
Cody
like
has one.
back the car out,
Yeah.
and then
It's
you
in the
you
floor.
lift up the floor. Every time there's like a severe thunderstorm warning, he gets his whole family and they go in the in
storm
the shelter, and he has to hold his phone up out of it around the corner to get the updates, and then brings it back in to read them.
That's Cody has that. That's more or less.
If this tells you about how worried I am about severe weather, I was up pretty late one night at my apartment, and my phone kind of kept going off, but I was like, whatever. And I was watching TV or playing video games or something, and all of a sudden, like, I hear it get really loud outside. I was like, yeah, that's weird. And then, like, it's that? Like raining really, really hard, and then I can hear the wind, and I was like, oh shit, that's weird. And I just kept vibing mysels. Next day, it was a tornado.
Yeah, I slept through it.
When was that? Was that here?
Well, it was like 2 years ago up in Rogers.
About a year and a half ago. It literally pulled whole trees out of the ground. There was one they found that it twisted it from the bottom to the top, so the bark like went around in a spiral.
It's called art.
It is, nature.
I can just imagine you playing video games. You're like, what is that?
Yeah, you're playing video games.
Kill yourself!
I was like, my phone was going off. My dad was like, "Hey, there's a tornado. You should probably sit in your closet or something." I'm like,
you're like sitting in your closet.
Yeah, so severe weather. I mean, it's not like tornadoes kill that many people a year, right?
Actually, I think it's pretty low.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like 7
especially
people
around here,
It's
right?
like 7 people.
Yeah. So your odds are pretty good if you just go stand outside the tornado storm.
No, I'm saying like just being inside, like whatever, like.
Charlie, what time are we at?
20.
1640.
I should go to the eye doctor.
When I was little, I always thought tornadoes were dangerous because they sucked you up into the sky.
Same.
How many people?
So let's place our bets.
Is this U.S. or national, worldwide?
U.S. or national?
U.S.
U.S. is national, yeah.
Okay. According to National Geographic.
So U.S., I'm going to say...
400.
I'm going to say 72.
I'm going to keep my really... Is this Price is Right style? If
73.
You go over, you're out.
Closest
wins.
Closest wins.
I'm going to stick with my 7 people.
You said 400?
Yeah.
You said
72.
60.
Nice.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I read today that more people have choked to death on food this year than people under 50 have died from COVID.
Yeah.
More people have choked to death on their food than have died from the worldwide pandemic.
Did you guys see the video of the dude getting a vaccine, the nurse, and it didn't have anything with a syringe?
Yeah.
You saw that? And like, so in that same video, if you watch the whole video, they vaccinated the other people and it had stuff in the syringe. It's like everyone at my job is like, oh, you saw this. But like, it's like, well, obviously they messed up and like, it was, I think.
I saw this one, they left the cap on the needle.
Yeah. And I was like, you can mess up and that's fine. I said, but in the way that people are skeptical right now,
you can't.
You're going to build distrust and everyone's going to be like, oh, they're messing with us. Like, and they're going to
somebody who got it.
Who?
I know a guy who's a nurse in Little Rock who got it.
Well, but also like,
is he dead?
I saw a video where it was like, oh, there's nothing in the needle. I couldn't see dick.
He just couldn't he didn't plunge the syringe.
It was potato quality. I couldn't see anything in there.
Was it like those videos?
He didn't push the thing down.
Have you seen those videos that are like Hillary's a lizard, and it's like
yes
160p footage, and it's slowed down to 1 frame a second, and it's like her eyes blinking, but the pixels mess up for 1 frame, and they're like lizard.
That's the same thing, dude. Yeah, there's a video. I think it was at like the DNC or RNC a few years back. There's like a guy that's on security detail, and he's standing there in his suit, and he like looks, and then it's like 240p or something stupid, and then like the way the pixels move, it looks like his face almost shape shifts, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, what is this? What is this?"
Shapeshifters in public.
I was like, "Come on, dude!" Someone literally had a Nokia, and they're like took in a video and they're like, "Oh my god." Oh my god!
What's the African American guy that does the Thanksgiving parade every year?
You can say black.
Are you talking about the dude from Good Morning America?
Yes, yeah.
Al Roker.
Al Roker. Have you seen the video of him like completely glitching out on TV?
Maybe.
No.
He like this guy asked him a question and he just stops and looks in the camera like.
He probably didn't hear the question.
I mean, for like 15 or 20 seconds. Straight. It just completely zoned out. And people are like, Al Roker's a lizard man.
Did y'all watch the Thanksgiving parade this year?
Wasn't it like just virtual?
Yeah.
No.
Well, like
there were some balloons.
there
right?
was
It was
stuff
brought
there.
to you what?
And then
by
some of them
It was
were
brought
fake.
to you by Verizon Ultra Wideband 5G. They said it literally every other minute.
We heard Mario Lopez say that about 70,000 times.
I
If he
thought
got-
Mario
or got
Lopez
paid.
was canceled.
He was hosting the
what?
Thanksgiving Day parade.
Said something about being gay. I don't know.
That's like my daughter Ruby today was eating black beans, and she got black all over her face. I said, "You have blackface, Ruby. You're gonna get canceled."
Should have made a Snapchat of that.
I know it was too late.
That would have been good.
Then got wiped off. That's like, dude, I can't.
These real quick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're at 21.
21.
Well, the dude who was out on the street, like going up to different stuff, it was like
dude.
all the stuff like was just like not planned. It was like he was just like going out there. So like he would start talking to somebody, and they're like, "What?" Like he was just walking around, and then like I don't know if he was getting too far away from the.
Honestly, it was the best thing I had watched. Like,
Who are you?
It was amazing.
Was it like ninja flossing on New Year's Eve level bad?
Maybe worse.
Was it?
Okay.
Oh god, dude, yeah.
Honestly, like
That's when he stood up there and did that, and like no one did
And
anything.
it was
right?
pouring rain, and he's like, "I don't see you dancing," and
dude,
everybody,
just thinking about
literally
that is
nobody
cringe.
moved.
it's like
Why was Ninja in Times Square on New Year's Eve?
Can you imagine how red faced he felt like doing that?
He's
you know the
irrelevant now.
I know.
Too.
You know, like the freaking burning, tingling sensation you feel when you're like embarrassed, like so bad.
it's like secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah.
No, dude, imagine being him.
Oh.
Like you're doing this and you're like, oh my god, no one's doing it. Oh, Jesus God.
Well, it's like I feel like he's clearly not a dude.
I don't think he can hear over the cash register sound.
Exactly, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
no
Like,
kidding.
how much did he get paid to stand up there and do
10
that?
million probably.
Nothing's worth the embarrassment.
Nothing would make me embarrassed after
Dude,
that.
one time I was so embarrassed. Chad, you remember? You were there for this. And you might remember this. At school, when we had our pep rally, and we played for like the elementary kids after the pep rally. And that's when I played the drum set in our show. And we played rock and roll. And I said, hey, Mr.
Was
Ford.
it at the school?
Mm-hmm.
At the junior high?
No, it was at the high school.
Okay, never mind.
And I told Mr. Ford, I was like, hey, can I go play the drum set on rock and roll? But the drum set was like on the other side of the gym. And the gym's big at Harbor. And so I played it.
And echoey.
Oh, dude. So I played it, and the sound, it was big enough there was a sound delay. And it sounded atrocious. And like, Josh Hoover came up to me after. He's like, yeah, dude. He's like, that was bad. He's like, even the kids that weren't in band and musically talented were telling me it was so bad.
Dude, okay.
Like, that was a like burning sensation. I was like, oh, God.
We played this show in Borger, Texas. You weren't
Borger.
with us yet.
Oh yeah.
Hamburger.
You know why I wasn't with you?
Handburger.
I was at his wedding.
No. This was like 2 years before I knew you.
Oh, I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about the time.
Yeah,
y'all
lay
did
off,
play in
dude.
Texas.
No, I was at his wedding.
We did play in
Borger.
Texas this time too, though.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry.
Burger.
Oh, we'll get there.
Okay, we played at a Comic-Con
Oh, that's right.
in the what do they call it? The Illumadome?
Not a convention center?
No, it was
Surprising.
like the first year of this Comic-Con in Borger, Texas. The
Borger.
population's
Hamburger.
like 75. And this dome, it was literally a dome. The floor was concrete. There was no stage. The dome was made out of aluminum. No insulation. And we were playing with in-ears,
Yeah.
but that didn't help.
You can still hear like a
You would hit the
4-second
drums.
delay.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
would hit the drums,
Literally,
and
the
like
whole
we were
show
getting
was like-
off. Yeah, we were getting off so bad. Like we just gave up and just started screwing around. Like there was, but not just that, because it would bounce off, come back, and bounce off again.
Yeah.
So there were like
Yeah.
5 or 6 echoes that we heard, and
Well,
I
at
had
some
no
point,
idea
it's
where
just
I was.
noise.
Yeah,
It's just
it was
white noise in the room.
Yeah, it was.
It's like, I referenced
so
this last
bad.
time. It's like the Yoda dying thing. Whenever it's like the super echoey one.
So I thought you were referring about. So when I was at his wedding, y'all played a show in Texas because
Oh, it was your wedding?
yeah.
Oh.
And so
We didn't play in Borger then.
well, you had
We played in Texas. We had Nate.
Hamburger.
yeah, Nate played.
Hamburger.
Yeah.
But Nate I mean, he didn't know the music, and it was.
You showed me a video of this. Y'all played it on outside, right?
Yeah.
It was outside.
In the trailer.
So he doesn't know. I mean, the music. It's not his music, but he was filling in, and there was a time where it was like, he I guess just didn't remember how the song went for a second, and he got so off from the track. Lauren had to walk around and like turn it off because it was messing the whole thing.
Yeah, y'all have a song. I can't remember what it is. It says like it shouts like "Hey."
Yeah,
I remember what it is.
Now?
And so like Lauren like said "Hey," and like 5 minutes later the track was like "Hey."
And,
yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, and then of course there had to be some dude there who was taking video and put a couple of videos.
I'm gonna be real with y'all real quick. Every theater show I've been to, like the backing track hasn't worked. I've only been to like 3.
That's not true. It worked at your church.
Did it?
Yeah, we didn't have any issues at your church.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. There was the one at
Did you have a problem at Nomads?
Nomads.
Well, we always have problems at Nomads.
Well,
and that is none of our fault.
Yeah, it was
they literally
understandable.
The way that venue works is like he's like, yeah, I'll book a show, you run it.
Yeah.
So we had to have a door person. We had to have we had no subs.
Oh.
We had to set up our own subs and our mains and hook up to his 4-channel soundboard.
Nice.
Oh, so it's the worst venue ever.
Yes.
Okay.
Whenever we have vocals, guitar,
Small in a
bass,
tiny home.
tracks,
Yeah, I was there.
drums.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like we have 6 outputs and only 4 inputs.
Nomads, Fayetteville, worst music venue ever. Just
But
going
one
on
of the
record.
most popular ones, like
Somehow.
not
Well,
the most,
so
like
the
George's
thing
is
is-
obviously
The
the most
stage is
popular,
like a
but
foot off the
The
ground.
thing is, it's nostalgic. The guy that owns
Yeah.
it ran the music hall back in the day, and so
Well, he doesn't now, and his venue sucks.
this
Well,
is
and
Carnegie.
that's
This
all.
isn't Carnegie
Well,
Hall,
that's the
dude.
thing. It's not really a venue. It's more of a restaurant, and occasionally there's something that goes on there.
And his
like a
goal is
quarter
to
of
get
the
me
place
drunk
is a
every time he
stage.
has me play there.
2 square feet. It's like the whole the whole building.
Yeah, I mean the stage is smaller than drum risers that we use
Yeah, it's
regularly.
itty-bitty.
So
Yeah. Show was good though.
was that the one where he had to poop?
No,
Yeah,
that was a different
after
one.
the show.
That was that one?
After
Yeah.
the show, you had to poop. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
I don't remember that.
Well, I mean, like that's like half of your shows.
No, but this
Can't
one like
blame
he ran off stage.
I feel like if anybody will know what I'm talking about, I feel like it's Evan right now.
What?
You ever sneaks up on you really have to go?
While
you
you're
have
playing?
to go, and it almost makes you feel like bad. Like
Are you talking about
feel
like while
almost
you're playing
sick.
or?
While you're playing and life in general? Like,
Oh yeah, dude.
and you like feel sick.
Yeah.
Now imagine that, but you're still in the middle of a set.
Me and Charlie.
Yeah,
don't
dude. One
poop.
time, straight up,
We're
one
known
time.
for not pooping. Yeah.
No, but like
Can't relate.
No, I'm just saying though. Like if anybody can relate to something gross like that here, it's Evan.
So
right
listen,
now,
That's
okay?
true.
One time, so I learned a lesson. Walmart sold these wings that were like
is
pre-seasoned and
great.
really hot and everything. And I loved them. I would eat the entire package.
like at the deli.
No, it was in the chicken section, like where you can just get chicken breasts and all that. And they had like a
Frozen,
special
or-
one. No, they were just refrigerated. So they were pretty good. They were Tyson, and they weren't like frozen or anything. So they were pretty good.
Tyson, any Tizers?
No.
Oh.
And I loved them. So when I would get them, I'd eat the entire thing. I mean, it was a big thing of wings, and I would eat all of it.
Yeah.
And but the next day, I always regretted it. And for some reason, I ate it on a Saturday night, and not thinking that I had to play in the morning. And I actually had to play bass because the bass guy was out, and I was filling in for him. And literally, we practiced and everything. The pastor gets up and is like opening it up, announcements and all that stuff, and it starts hitting me. And then we have my friend Kevin that used to go there, and he wasn't playing anything. And so I texted him. I literally texted him up there with the bass around my neck. I was like, dude, I'm about to crap my pants. Can you come up here and play bass? So
Wow.
he ran up there and thankfully he's good enough that he can just play something like just knowing what the song
do a
is.
little switcheroo.
Yeah, so I literally the whole worship set, I was back there dying in the toilet.
Nice.
But yes, I know exactly what
Wow.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I airdropped a picture of my poop to Kirkland today. Just out of the blue, dude. Just out of the blue. And it was a picture from like a month ago.
Why do you have it?
Why not? It was amazing. It was huge.
He has a saved picture.
It's on Snapchat.
on his phone.
And so I like went on my airdrop, or I accidentally clicked into my airdrop like I was going to share a different photo, and it said Kirkland was up. Like he had it open. I was like, oh, nice. I remember that picture. I scrolled through and I sent it to him, and he's like across the whole store, and he's doing his real estate stuff, and he's like,
I did that to my boss the other day, except I did the thing where, like, you focus on, like, the middle distance and then just take a picture of your face right here.
Yeah.
So you look, like, completely R-worded.
R-word?
He's not going to say it.
I'm not getting canceled.
He's not going to say it.
And so, like, my office and my boss's office are right next to each other, and there's a window that is curtained because my office used to be the recording studio and his used to be the booth. And so I just airdropped that photo, and it, like, takes him a couple minutes to accept it. And I see the thing go around. I just hear, like, what? From in there, and then the curtains fling open, and he's like,
what? Did I ever tell you guys, this isn't really big, but, like, anytime Evan and I would pass each other on the road or anything like that, and at the time my truck didn't have AC, so the windows were always down, Evan would roll his window down and scream as absolutely loud as he can.
Is that when we're at Jimmy John's or just in general?
Both, yeah. Like,
okay, yeah. I bet I remember these.
I just hear, like, as loud as he can.
Yeah, you're right.
like we'd be on like 412. I'd be going this way, like all the way over here. And he's just passing by.
That sounds like
that's right, because your truck is so recognizable. That's right. At the time, I would always
Little Blue was iconic.
Yeah.
Also, could definitely go 90 miles an hour.
That's like the time. I still have the video, and I think I mentioned this like 20 podcasts ago, where we're driving in the car, and I was taking a video of something, and then we passed the cop. So we were going to the mall, and a cop had pulled someone over in Johnson.
Yeah.
And then we went to the mall for like an hour, and then we left and came back that way. And that same cop had pulled over someone else at the same spot. And so literally me and Chad are driving, and I was taking a video of something. Like, I was trying to get what was playing on the radio for something. And then we happened to pass this guy, like, as we're doing that. And we're like vibing to the music. And then I'm like, oh my God, he got it out! And we start screaming real loud.
I don't think anybody finds it funny, but
I do. You and I think it's hilarious,
Didn't
dude.
Johnson get in trouble a couple years ago for, like, pulling over too many people?
They must have, because they don't pull over near as many people as they used to.
No.
that's what I heard.
Yeah. They were, like, pulling over people to meet quotas, and then they
Isn't that what all cops?
Well, hey, that's sales.
I was like, theirs was so high, they would, like, I think what happened
salesman.
was they would always pull people over on, like, the 29th, the 30th, and the 31st.
Yeah.
There was, like, a huge spike in them pulling people over.
Can't blame them trying to hit bonus, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, there's all the anti-cop sentiment right now, and it makes me really roll my eyes.
Anti-cop Semitism.
Yeah. But then I go through Johnson, and I'm like, cranking Rage Against the Machine. Like, those guys really get my goats.
Ride the family! Those who died are justified!
So I was going to pick up Marty, because I was DDing for him one night, and I'm heading to his place. At the time, he was living at the fire station, because they had a room there, and so we rented a room out there.
He lived there?
Mm-hmm. And so I was going out there to get him. And I'm riding on 71B.
That echoed so loud.
I hit, like, the exact note of, like
the filing cabinet or this thing.
I think it was the vents. It perfectly resonated.
Do it again.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Perfect. And so this cop, he's riding, and he comes up next to me.
IPA.
Okay. He comes up next to me. I look at him. He looks at me. He slows down and then gets behind me and then pulls me over.
Marty?
This cop.
Gotcha. Why you had Marty with you?
Looked at me, was like, that looks like somebody, and pulled me over. And then writes me a ticket for something about the tags, which was my dad's car. Like,
it must just be the way you look, dude.
And so,
like, I don't ever get tickets. Like, I get pulled over and never get tickets.
That's racist. They're Chaddist.
They're like, God, this is low life.
You know, every time I type out Chad, it get the keyboard suggestion suggests the flag for Chad.
Chad.
The
like
country.
in Africa.
I know there's a country called Chad. Country. There's. I said comfrey.
Comfrey. Not drunk, by the way.
So do you remember that time, Chad? This was probably like a year ago. It was when you were living with Marty in Rogers. Like, you were playing. We were on Xbox playing Fortnite or something.
Marty.
And I guess Kai had like crapped in the living room or something.
That's unusual.
Yeah, and then but like Chad is Marty's dog, and like Chad was like, "Are you gonna clean it up or something?" And Marty was like, "No." And like Marty, out of pure stubbornness, refused to clean up that mountain of crap. And literally, while me and Chad are playing Fortnite, Marty's like exploding at Chad. Do you remember this?
Vaguely.
I mean, he probably did it often. Like exploding on Chad for like wanting him to clean up that, like, those turds. And then it gets so bad.
Literally poop in the living room.
Yeah. It literally gets so bad that like Chad, I can't remember what you said. He just like said something. It wasn't even a big deal. Marty was just getting set off already, and you said something in passing, and it was something like, "Oh, well, I'm not cleaning it up," and like that just made it even worse for Marty. And I hear Marty get in Chad's mic. He's like, "I'm gonna punch you in the face," or something like that, like super loud, like right in your mic. Or he was like, "Shut your mouth." He said, "I swear to God, I'm gonna hit you." Like, I was like, "Do you need me to come over, Chad?" Like,
Marty used to scare the crap out of me when we were younger. Like in
he gets so
grade.
mad. Like, I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but
No, when he would drive, so they had Bible study at Chad's house the same night we would have youth group. And so Marty would drive me and Chad to Chad's house after youth group so my mom could drive me back and like we could hang out at Chad's house for a bit. Marty would go like 60 on the back roads in Springdale. And like I had to sit in the cab of a truck in the middle seat between Marty and Chad.
And this was a stick shift.
The stick was between my legs.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah. And Marty would be
Excuse me,
like,
Will.
Marty would be like, shift at me.
and you would.
I didn't have a license. I didn't know what I was doing. And then he would do it and be like, oh.
Dude,
Will, you used a sack of crap.
So
It
Marty
was horrifying.
Marty used to do this thing. So I text and drive a little bit. I mainly change the song and drive. I do that some. Marty does it so much. I've never seen somebody text and drive more than that man.
Well, he works at the ER, so.
Yeah, I mean, discount or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Expedited service.
I mean, he's seen the damage. He made his choice. There you go.
Well,
what can you ask for?
He
Did not see Harbor East's video.
Don't start with me.
So he used to do this thing when he'd have to drive me places. Like if he was gonna text and drive, no warning, would just go, grab the wheel, and just go, and I would just,
Oh God, dude.
and start driving.
And the ignorance.
It was just like, yeah, I get it.
Well, people like that stress me out.
Harbor East, baby.
Harbor
Tad.
Weast.
I made
Yeah.
that program $30,000.
Wow, dude.
How much did you get of that?
$0.
Awesome.
I stole their. Didn't one of y'all steal one of their Macs?
That sounds very much like a.
Was literally. And
Okay.
I spent the night at his house one time with me, Cody, and Josh Reingout. And me, Cody, and Josh Reingout slept on a queen size air mattress.
Nice.
And it was on the floor when we woke up. And then I saw a shirt somewhere and I threw it and it landed on Jonathan's desk and spilled a glass of water like all over one of the MacBooks. And I was like, I hope that wasn't the Harbor one.
All right.
It was fine. Anyway,
Yeah,
do we have to cut these?
probably.
We're at 18. Might as well.
Yeah.
Only 18? Jeez.
Yeah. We're at 13.
So I heard of a way we can make some money. We can buy an ATM and just put it in our house.
Okay.
Set up the fee for $10. Okay. Then you go and you open like 100 bank accounts at only banks that cover the ATM fees. And then you go and you just swipe the card.
Let's withdraw
And
money.
you can make thousands of dollars a month.
Two things.
Thousands of dollars a month. I can swipe that card a couple times an hour.
You got to have the money in the account to pull out of the ATM.
No, what you do-
And
too.
just
You
deposit it right back in.
Put it back in.
I have the app open. I have the card in my hand. Swipe app. Swipe app.
Exactly.
So
So
If
we
you
could
do
make
that
money.
3 times an hour, you're making $30 an hour.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
quick.
But you got to do. But if you get like 100 cards, you do all of them.
We need more ATMs.
We need more ATMs.
We need more ATMs
We're already out of
So,
ATM.
quick question.
Yeah.
Is that legal?
Well, that's the video that I saw is like, what's a piece of information you know that sounds illegal but is not?
Yeah,
and that is the information.
Yeah, I just learned that in real estate.
So how is that not? How is that? It can't be.
It's probably fraud.
Of some sort, because
yeah.
you don't...
Maybe
You're stealing from the government.
ATM
it's not the government. You're stealing from the
bank.
banks.
You're literally a bank robber.
That's government's money.
So...
It's all government's money.
Surely you can't just buy an ATM.
Yeah, you can. Oh yeah.
That connects to
A
the
bank.
network,
Yeah.
Federal Reserve or whatever, and freaking
Yeah.
does the money.
I gotta go let my dogs out. He's ringing his doorbell. But yeah, you can buy all the ATMs in like gas stations. Those are privately owned.
I can go let them out.
Okay.
Are they?
Yes. So somebody came to that gas station and said, "Hey, let me put an ATM in your thing." And they get a percentage of all of the ATM fees.
So surely the place doesn't own the ATM. The ATM's just there, and they're making a little bit of money off of the people who are making money.
Yes, but somebody else owns the ATM, not a bank or anybody else. I could set up a business as an ATM. I can set up an ATM business where I buy ATMs. ATMs are like $2,500.
You can rent or buy an ATM machine.
Can we get one of those here by Tuesday?
Yeah.
You make money, I thought, off the fee that you charge.
Yeah, exactly.
So you wouldn't want them to cover the fee. Oh, yeah.
You'd want the company
You want
to
the
cover
bank
the
to cover the
money.
fee. Yeah. Because you're getting... So
they'll pay
you
for your
own
fee.
the ATM. You own the card. You swipe the card. You get charged the fee. It comes out of your bank account. Because I like my bank that I use, I don't have a brick and mortar bank here, so I have to go to anybody else's ATM and I get charged $350.
Yeah.
My bank covers those fees every month.
Yeah, they just put it back in your account.
What
Yeah.
bank are you with?
USAA.
Oh.
Yeah.
Come on,
So-
quit riding on your dad's coattail.
It was my grandfather's, but
I have a great
I was grandfathered
Your dad,
in.
too.
Okay,
Your dad
$1 million
also
idea.
was freeloading.
$1 million idea. Great way to make money. Grow weed.
Well,
Grow drugs.
That too.
Invest in weed stocks.
Yes, that too.
Invest in
Stacks.
weed, libtards.
Grow weed.
Just grow it and sell it.
Lauren probably just got home or something.
Oh.
Good timing.
I was like, I just let the dogs out. Who's out
You
there?
come out there and it's like that Drake and Josh episode where everything's gone. Every single thing.
Oh,
All
Drake.
that's left is just some coffee grounds.
Is that all that was left in that episode?
Yes.
Drake, where's the body of Christ? That's my favorite Christian.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They're dressed as the Romans outside the tomb, and he's
That's
like
right
looking
there.
at him. He's like, Drake, where's the body of Christ?
Okay, go ahead and get it.
Oh, it's not there.
That's a great episode. I love that episode and the salsa episode. I always think about
The Peruvian puff pepper.
yes,
South America.
and then the one with the
Whiteness.
Was it the same one with the lizard pea?
Yes.
No,
It's a different one.
Is it?
Yeah.
You drink the lizard pea? Is that what it was?
No, he has to soak his foot in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or his hand. Was it his
yeah,
hand?
like his hands and I think his feet.
What did he
Oh,
do? Turn it green or something?
She like spray painted his
yeah.
hands green.
That's what it was, yeah. God, weird crap,
Did you watch
dude.
that show?
Yeah.
Yeah. You were older than us, so it was probably like even more resonant.
Yeah. I was like
That's
pretty
just
much
like
the same age as
15
those
years
guys.
ago,
So.
yeah.
Yeah. I didn't. I mean, there's stuff in those shows I didn't get. Yeah. Even Cartoon Network shows, they.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I never had Cartoon Network.
Did
so I didn't
anybody
really
watch Samurai Jack?
No.
I
don't think
caught
It's too
it.
dark, dude.
I don't think I've ever watched a single episode.
I caught it a couple times when I was younger.
It
but
was
only
really
like 4 or 5
dark,
times.
dark and confusing for a kid, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's time traveling and stuff.
Yeah, I never knew what it was
does
about.
he have any lines?
Yeah, he talks.
Okay, because I don't think I've ever seen anywhere where he talks.
It's all about like that whole show's about the animation. So it's like the talking parts are pretty few and far between. But it's just
It's so weird to think about all the weird shows that we watched growing up. Like now they have like Paw Patrol and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and what I feel like are pretty innocent shows. But we had like Chowder and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and those were all so weird.
We were older than those target audiences when that show
I guess so.
Dragon Tales is
like
odd.
when I was...
Although I did see an old Mickey Mouse cartoon.
Uh-huh.
The old
where
black
Mickey
and white
Mouse
ones are
was
freaky.
in a cheese factory, and he was making the holes in Swiss cheese with his boner.
There's no way.
It was real. I looked it up. I had to look it up. It was real.
Evans on it. When I was like Paw Patrol age, like that target age, I was watching like Barney and Teletubbies, which granted are weird.
I was watching VeggieTales and Donut Man.
I was also watching VeggieTales.
Donut Man.
Yeah.
Is that Bible?
Yeah.
I watched Bible Man. Did you watch Bible
Oh
Man?
God, that was so bad, but yes.
Bad.
Mick what?
I met Cypher in real life at the City Museum in St. Louis.
Is that the main character?
It's the black guy who has the blades. You know, he's got the two. You didn't watch Bible Man. You're a fake fan.
I literally.
You're a fake fan. He never claimed to be a fan.
I don't think I didn't hear about Bible Man up until legit. When did I work at the bookstore before it closed? When did I start working there? That was the first time I ever saw anything.
2017.
That was the first time I ever saw anything about Bible Man.
That's insane.
About
That's
Bible
actually
Man?
Bonkers.
Yeah.
That's batty.
He had like a
crazy.
lightsaber and everything.
Yeah. Did you watch 3-2-1 Penguins?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So this is fake. I mean, it's real, but it was made just for this purpose in 2011.
Dang. Then it's not
I mean,
real.
it definitely is Mickey Mouse thrusting in cheese, but it was never aired.
Never.
Like, someone just made it as a GIF.
Oh man.
I know.
I want it to be real so bad.
of SpongeBob where Squidward kills himself?
Isn't that like the creepypasta thing?
They only aired it one time, and it got pulled.
What is that called?
Squidward suicide.
Yeah. Is that a real thing, though? Like,
No.
not that it aired,
No.
but, like, someone said there was, like, a real video.
No,
like,
the story was they did an internal screening of an episode, and it was supposed to be all this thing, and then they spliced it with this footage, and so all the staff was watching it, and then suddenly it cuts to footage of somebody stabbing, like, a baby to death. That's the story.
Yeah.
It, obviously not real. Did you guys, like, fall for any creepypasta? Like, did a creepypasta ever keep
I never
you
really
up
read
at night?
creepypasta.
I went through a phase in like 9th grade where I like read it every night, and it would like really freak me out.
Like that Squidward suicide one, I remember reading that. My friend at the time told me about it on Xbox Live, and he explained it differently.
He was like, "Bro, Squidward literally kills himself on
So
TV."
that one freaked me out. But other than that, no.
So it's almost Christmas.
Yeah.
It's Christmas.
Happy Crisis.
I heard of other like I like the history of like holidays and traditions and stuff and how it gets twisted and turned into what we have now.
The pagan holiday we celebrate every
Yeah,
year.
I actually heard of a different one that I hadn't heard of before. I don't know exactly where it was, but like the idea of like Santa Claus wearing red and white and the tree and everything. Apparently in this area or whatever area there's a mushroom that is red with like white speckles on it, and they grow underneath pine trees, evergreen trees, and they're psychedelic mushrooms.
The fly. I can't think of how the last name is pronounced. I know what it's called.
They grow them underneath the pine trees, but then what they do is they pick them and then they hang them in the trees to dry out.
Fly
Ornaments.
agaric.
Ornaments, exactly. And then the shamans, those. And then the shamans would like come to your house and do the whole ritual and give you the mushrooms and you'd trip. But wherever this was, it would snow so much that they couldn't get in the front door, so they would climb the roof and come down the chimney to deliver these mushrooms, which were the gifts. And yeah,
That sounds sus.
I know.
That's sus, boy.
I meant to do more research, but
it also
obviously
makes perfect sense.
I know, right?
Which is why it sounds sus.
Am I the only one who...
You had me until climbing down the chimney. That's where you lost me. Unless chimneys used to be like a 3x3 hole.
I think you got to eat a lot of those mushrooms to
mine
like
is
freak
still
out.
a 3x3 hole.
There's like only a couple mushrooms that like will really freak you out if you eat a little bit of them. But a lot of the other ones, like there's a famous Joe Rogan podcast where he has like that mushroom guy on there, and like he kind of helped to revolutionize that whole psychedelic mushroom thing. And they found a bunch growing in mulch across the street from a police station, and him and his buddy literally had to eat all of the ones they found to trip. Like they had to eat
what
literally
was the
every
significance
single
of
one.
the police station?
Well, because they had to get psychedelic mushrooms out of a mulch pile across the street from the cops.
Okay.
That podcast is amazing, by the way.
I'll have to check
Mushrooms
it out.
are
I've listened to that, or some of it.
That's my second favorite Joe Rogan podcast. The first one is The Sleep Expert. I learned so much on that podcast. That guy is a genius.
I haven't heard that
So,
one.
back to this mushroom thing.
Okay.
We never left it.
Well, he went to this sleep thing.
You
So,
mentioned it.
I'm just trying to picture this. You're a dude, let's say you just pick all these mushrooms.
Yeah.
If he gets pulled over and those are in his car, I mean...
They'd probably confiscate him.
Well,
Back then,
well,
if it
I
was
mean,
like the 70s or 80s.
To anybody, I mean, how do you know what kind of mushrooms they are?
Cops know.
Yeah, they're trained on stuff like
They're
that.
crazy.
Well, that
But maybe
and that
not
would
back
be
then.
like probable cause too. I'm sure. Like you could have a right to take those mushrooms and then have them sent off. And
I just got some cremini mushrooms back there, and they're like, "What the hell is that?"
you literally have like the saran wrap thing from Walmart, and like,
Yeah.
what is that?
Sir,
Like, sir, it's just some.
I can explain. Oh, I think you've done enough.
Yes.
It's like when Michael bought like a caprese salad as drugs. It's like, oh God, I don't know what that is. It's mine. It's mine.
Yeah, it's got a little mozzarella down there.
Yeah, I think that's mozzarella.
it's a salad.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I feel like I guess maybe I guess they're trained on it, but like if I was a cop, I'd just feel like I don't know what the hell that is. It's
Got dogs for that
Good
stuff.
thing he's not a cop.
Also,
Apparently,
I learned that in real
sorry.
estate.
I was gonna say also if I was a cop, I feel like I'd let a lot of things go.
You
like,
would.
Some dude's
You'd be
driving
the
like
worst cop.
You would
some
be
dude's
the
like
worst
driving
cop.
12 over on the interstate. I'm like, he's probably going somewhere.
I mean, most of them don't pull you over for
Going
12 over
No.
on the interstate.
My father-in-law was telling me that apparently dogs can be trained to smell COVID on
Yep.
people.
Yep.
And they're using them like in airports now. So,
Interesting.
Yeah.
The dog like
So
goes
is this-
over and sits next to him, and the cop's like,
Can't they have COVID like metal detector things? Walk through, it's like beep beep. Like yeah,
"We got a 2319! We got a 2319!" They shave you down.
yeah. Apparently, COVID's been going around in Ashton's family. A bunch of them are getting
My
it.
sister-in-law had
Probably beep that.
Why?
People are sensitive about it.
Oh, they don't care. They don't care.
All right.
Unbeep.
Okay. Later, Will. Don't do that.
Wait, what? She had it?
We'll talk about this later.
COVID's like, oh, COVID. Chad's like, I went over there last night.
Who?
My sister-in-law.
Oh.
Lauren's sister? Who's that? Have we met her?
No.
Why are you doing that?
No, I'm just
Why'd you do?
I'm thinking, oh, because they lose their taste. I was like, thank you, Will. He's supporting me. Evan's still lost.
No, I get it.
No, I
It's
think he's
stupid.
still lost.
It's just dumb.
I saw
you're
this.
lost.
I
It's
saw
okay.
this TikTok of a girl at
You're
a
lost.
Starbucks, and she was like getting a new drink, and she was like, "That doesn't taste like anything."
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Wait." And then it cut right to her like getting a test. Yeah.
So Ash at her coffee stand, she said there's the same lady that comes in like once a week, and she always wants, which is disgusting by the way, a raspberry latte, which sounds terrible.
Which one does Ashlyn work at?
Lowell.
Oh, okay.
And anyway, every time they make this lady her raspberry latte or raspberry breve, I don't know. And anyway, and then she leaves, and then she comes back a week later, and she's like, I want a raspberry latte or whatever. And she's like, and make sure it's a raspberry latte. They gave me like pumpkin last time. She says that exact same thing every time. And I'm like, look, just show it to her and make it to her. And every time she's like, no, y'all didn't give me that last time. I got like pumpkin or something.
No, I would actually give her pumpkin that time.
Yeah,
like,
say, let's try this. And she's like, it was stupendous.
Incredible.
Amazing. Immaculate. The flavor
I was like, and I told Ash, like, people like that, I'm like, why do you let people get away with that?
Yeah.
Like, just say, look, no, we made you raspberry freaking latte last time.
What are these at? Where you at?
17.
Okay. I'm just paranoid about
We never mentioned that this is our last episode of the season.
Oh, yeah. Season 2's ending.
It's over, bye.
Bye.
Season 2's ending.
Later.
Season 3 is going to pick back up in a couple weeks after
some-
the holidays.
some
Whenever we
gaming
feel like
content.
it, whenever we're good and ready.
We'll put some stuff on the channel. We'll upload some individual clips, maybe some gaming stuff if we can get onto it.
Maybe.
But yeah,
You can
If we
finger it out.
feel like it.
we're feeling good about it.
So my wife had an interesting story.
My
about
wife.
Every single time, huh? Every time.
Hamburger.
Hammed burger.
All right, what is it?
About a customer. So the day that it snowed, or the day after it snowed, her coffee shop, they opened an hour later. So instead of 7, they opened at 8. Okay, she was
Because
there.
of significant amounts of snow.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a lot of snow.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was a guy that I guess he was expecting them to open at 7, and he comes up to the door, it's locked, and they're pointing at the signs like, we're not opening until 7. So he goes back into his car, and then she said that they got everything, all the prep done before 8, and it was like 7:50. And there were other people there, and they just, since they were ready, they opened the door for them. And this guy gets out of his car and comes in and yells at my wife and the other employee about, why didn't you let me in and you let all these other people in? And they're like, well, you came up to the door way early. We weren't ready. We just happened to be ready when they came up. You could have come in right when they came in. And then he has the audacity to stay there after yelling at them, to stay there and study. Like,
He's like, unbelievable, I want a vanilla latte.
Yeah. and I just happened to like show up to get a coffee, and Lauren looks at me and she's like, it's that guy right there. I'm
Like, hey,
he stayed?
Hey,
like,
pal.
You're gonna yell at these people, and then you're gonna stay here? Like,
I will take my money elsewhere next time.
next time.
I can't imagine yelling at people doing their job.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's cut. I got some stuff to say. It's that 19.
And they go pee-pee. Pee-pee.
Yeah. So
There.
so I was
There,
talking
you piece of shit.
the other day. I was talking like so. I guess like I'm the kind of person, I feel like you guys are too, that wouldn't be a customer of a place and just act certain ways.
Yeah.
So like some people will call and we'll take a sales call and they'll be like,
Oh.
do you guys have any sleeper sofas in stock? And we'll say, no, we don't. And most people will be like, okay, well, thank you. That's what I need to know. Other people, you're like, any sleeper sofas in stock? Say, no, we don't have any right now. I won't have any for a little bit. Like, what? Like, oh my God, why not? Like, who acts like that? Like, I'm like, I never call up somewhere and I'm like, hey, do y'all have this? And they're like, no. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm just like, oh, okay, thanks, man. That's what I want to know. Like, what do customers get off just thinking they can act that way?
Well, people are just so used to having everything they want right when they want it. That's it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, even me, like, if I want something and I can't get it in, like, 3 days, I, like, I question whether or not, like...
You need it.
Yeah.
That's what, so custom orders at our job right now are taking 6 months.
Yeah.
And, which granted, if it's a custom order, you can't cancel it. Unless it's like broken or something. But I'm like, I always get worried that someone's just like not going to want something in 6 months and like try to get us to let them.
I don't even know if I want a kitten.
That's exactly what I think of every time. That's exactly. But I was going to say, so Ash, when this whole snowstorm came in, they texted Ash in the...
This whole snow thing happened.
I don't feel like it was a snowstorm. It kind of was. Doesn't matter. Anyway.
It snowed.
It snowed for like a whole day.
Yeah. The next morning, they sent out a group text in her stand and all, I think the whole company. They said, hey guys, I feel like this is a pretty good time for a reminder on our inclement weather policy. Their inclement weather policy is if you are unable to get to work, you have to find a cover. And if you cannot find a cover, you have to come into work or you're fired.
That's a great policy.
I was like, we live in Prairie Grove where there are tons of back roads and that's like the only way out of there.
Yeah.
Like if it ever like ice is really bad, she's not going into work.
No.
And the thing is, Seven Brew's never gonna not open. Like that would be the only time she didn't have to go.
It's like, it's 7 Brew.
Yeah.
Like they can literally only make 2 drinks at a time.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing is there's 2 windows, they make 2 drinks and send you on your way.
Yeah. Well, it's like...
It's not complicated.
Their reasoning was like, look, if other people can open their businesses, so can we. Or it was like, if people want coffee, you know, we can be there to give them coffee. I was like, come on. I was like, some people live across the street from 7 Brew. That's like different than someone who lives 25 minutes away. So I was like, look, I said, if it ever snows and ice is really bad, I said... You're just going to be fired because you're not going into work.
You're fired.
Stupid!
Grace worked at a boutique clothing store for a while in Little Rock, and she got seriously sick with, like, just full-on stomach bug. Like, it wasn't like it was going around. She just freaking got it. Scream vomiting. Like... like she had never thrown up in front of me before, and I like brought her food after work one night because she was so sick. I knock on the door of her apartment at the university. She opens it and doesn't say anything, just turns around, goes straight to the bathroom and throws up with the door open. And I'm just standing there outside still. It was just like, door, just that fast. And she's like, I don't think I'm going to go to work tomorrow. I was like, I don't think you're going to go either. And so she's like, I need to text my manager. So she texts the manager, and the manager's like, I wish you would have told me this earlier. Like, I need you to find cover for your shift. And then Grace is like, nobody wants to cover for me tomorrow. And she's like, well, I don't know what we're going to do. That's what the manager said. I don't know what we're going to do. It's like, Grace was like, I could go in and vomit everywhere.
I'd be like, this is me quitting.
Yeah, and it's like, and the next morning she was still throwing up. So it's like, if she had to go, she would just go and throw up everywhere.
How can I help you?
I told her she should just go in and throw up and then leave. Because it's like, if you throw up on the job, it would be different than throwing up at home.
Just throw up on all their clothes.
They wouldn't make you find cover if you threw up while you were at work.
It's true.
No place would ever do that.
Right. They're like, are you okay? Can you still work?
Yeah. Like at Office Depot,
if you throw up again, it'll be okay.
I literally plugged myself into a wall outlet one time at Office Depot, and they were like, do you need to go home? I was like, I'm fine.
You plugged yourself in? What do you mean?
So like...
like you were touching the prongs like when you plugged it in?
So I had... This is probably the dumbest thing. I should have died. Frankly, I should have died.
He saw a knife. He saw an outlet.
I was like...
It's power, baby!
So we had a laminating machine, but it was like old school. So basically a laminating machine is like 2 hot rollers. They both spin one direction, but they're literally tubes. So if it doesn't feed directly into the middle of the tubes, it'll go down and then go under the one, but it won't be able to come back up. So the whole thing's screwed. You have to literally open it up from the top with a screwdriver and then take one of the rollers out with a screwdriver and then get your thing out, and then there you go. You put it all back together. I did all of that while it was still plugged in. Nice. And one of those screws that you have to unscrew, for some reason, was also touching a live wire. So basically the entire apparatus was electrified.
Nice.
When you take the cover off. So I did this cool thing where I was unscrewing it, and I turned, and my knuckle touched the panel the screw was screwed into.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I know, like literally it was like my eyes turned off.
That's amazing.
It was like the next thing I know, my hands are like this. It was like I teleported. And my heart hurt.
Were you still standing up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a split second, but
You
it was
got
like,
electrocuted.
electrocuted is when you
shocked.
die.
I was gonna say you got shocked.
Yeah. And so
I got a funny story.
it was literally like all at once. I let go of everything, and my hands were in the air, and my heart hurt.
One time, so when I grew up from the age of like 2 to 7, we lived in Louisiana, like on a farm pretty much. We lived right next to my grandparents who had a big farm, like several hundred acres. And they had electric wire there because he raised cattle. And one time, my brother, I have a few funny stories about this. I'll just tell you two, though. So one time, my brother was riding, my grandpa had his little work truck, and my brother was riding in the pickup bed. And there was, for some reason, like, so there was like, not for some reason, there was a tall portion of the electric fence because it had to come up and over so you could drive through it. Okay? Mm-hmm. So it's running like this, and it comes up like this, so you can drive underneath it. And I guess my brother, like, stood up for something right when they passed underneath that wire, hit his head, like, just like this, and just knocked him out of the back of the truck. It was amazing. Like, I touched one of those wires one time, and luckily it's like not too bad, I guess, as I was like you would expect it to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it literally like just like shoves you. Yeah. Which leads me to my next story. They had a little kitten that jumped up on one of those wires, and it got its hooks on the wire, and it was just dangling there. And then eventually it like started slowly descending enough where it touched the ground, and it shocked it, and it just like shot up in the air and just like.
I was about to ask, do those shock you if you're not touching the ground? That answers my question. I can never remember.
It was amazing because he was just hanging there playing, and then it's like he swung down low enough just to clip the ground, and it shocked him. He like went in the ball and then like shot off running.
So my story's not nearly as good as that, but I was a very little kid. I remember they were hanging lights for Christmas on the house. I was still in Texas. That's how little I was.
Okay.
And I saw an extension cord, and I saw where in the extension cord it had like broken a little bit.
Nice.
And I was just like, that seems like a cool thing.
This is a good idea.
And I touched it, and when I touched it, it shocked me. It was like one of those things. It's like as a little kid, you do something, and then you know that, like that was bad, and you like look around, and you're like kind of embarrassed. So I went.
Yeah. I choked on a peanut one time, and I did just that. Like literally, like my mom gave me peanuts, and she was like, "Don't choke on these." And like 10 minutes later, I ate one, and I was like, and it was like right on the floor, and I was like.
So your mom said, "Hey, remember 15 years ago when you told me not to choke on that peanut?" I did. She's like, "William!"
She would have no recollection of this, but I remember to this day because I was like, "I'm gonna get in trouble for almost dying."
I literally texted my sister Brittany. This was also back in Texas. Lifesavers used to make those like so. There's like the cream savers.
Cream savers are fire, and you can't get them anymore.
They're like strawberry like ones. Yeah. So
is this relevant?
Yes, I'm going back to it.
Yes, because they're the best candy. Go on.
Well, as a very little kid, I ate one. And I started choking.
Something like the strawberry flavor.
I can't remember it super well, but I remember feeling like I was choking for a long time. And my sister Brittany had to give me the Heimlich.
Oh my god!
Like yeah, and so I literally like 2 weeks ago texted her. I was like, "You remember that one time I choked really bad?" And she's like, "Yeah, you like almost died." And I put Lamau.
Literally, you just wait. Just hold your breath, and it'll dissolve. Just wait. That's like one time I swallowed a shocker whole. Well, I didn't choke. I could feel it was like lodged.
A what?
A shocker. They're like sour sweet tarts.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like they're kind of like warheads. They're kind of like warheads, but a different shape.
I knew that's what you were thinking.
Like, what?
Oh.
And it got stuck, but I could still breathe. But eventually, it deteriorated enough that it fell down and went down on my stomach.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, the worst.
My grandma choked on a lifesaver, and perfectly so that she was breathing through the hole.
That's what they're for. That's why they're called that.
I wasn't there, but everybody tells the story every year.
That's awesome.
The worst is choking on like an ice cube. No one's ever done that. You just got to wait for it to melt.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
I can't say I've ever fully choked on something.
You know what's the worst is swallowing part of a chip whole.
Oh man! You feel like
it's like yeah. You feel it go when it gets to like right here. I'm like, death would be better.
Have you guys seen this video of this guy? And he comes over to another guy's house, and it's just one guy playing all these parts, but he's just like, "Hey, Tim's on his way. He's gonna ask for chips and queso, but don't give him any."
Oh.
And the dude's like, "Why? Why?" He's like, "Just don't do it." And then he walks in. He's like, "Hey guys, y'all got some queso? Is that some queso?" And he's like, looking at his friend. He's like, "Don't let him do it. Don't let him do it." And then he's like, "Is it cool if I have some?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, man." And he's like, "Oh my God." The other guy's like, "What have you done?" So he takes the chip like this, turns it vertically, and eats it like that. And the guy's like, "Oh my God, what have you done?"
I found this TikTok account. You know those sugar cookies with the frosting you love?
No.
You don't like them?
No, I'm actually not a fan of those. I mean,
it's you like, don't like them.
It's
that's
one of those
what
things.
it is.
It's like, it's kind of like Coke. If it's the only thing there, I'll have
every year I like them less and less.
It's kind of like Coke.
I could never remember if you like them or don't like them.
Cody loves them.
Okay, that's right. I found this like basically it's a mall Santa, but it's like his personal TikTok. He's just eating them one at a time, whole, no water. He eats like 5 in the video in a row. Just 1, chews 4 times. 2, chews 4 times. It just keeps going.
And the man's still alive?
Yeah, no water. And all the comments are like, "Get this man some water." And the next video is him figure skating. And he's actually an old man.
That's amazing. You remember that time we got pictures of Santa at the mall?
Do I remember that time you got pictures?
Did you not get one?
I was not in it. No, I watched it. You're like, "Dude, I'm going to do this." I was like, "Okay."
Oh, I still got that, dude. I'm sitting there with Santa, like 18 years old. I'm wearing a flannel with my hat backwards, and I'm sitting there with Santa. I'm like...
Did you see that video of the mall Santa telling that little boy he couldn't get a Nerf gun for Christmas?
Yeah, he was like, "No guns." And the mom was like, "A Nerf gun. It's like it shoots little darts. It's a plate." He's like, "No guns."
And he's like, "You can have anything else for Christmas." And the kid's literally crying right in front of him. And the Santa won't back up on it.
So I was like,
he
piss
won't
off,
back
dude.
up on his liberal bullcrap for this literal child that's crying in front of him.
And you know what's sad is like that's probably on Twitter, and everyone in the comments of Twitter is like, "Good job, Santa. Good job. Stand by what you believe."
Literally, Jack Dorsey said 10% of Twitter users make...
Twizzard?
Sorry, drunk by the way. 10% of Twitter users make like 85% of the tweets.
I'll believe that for sure, dude.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. It's
like I talked about last time, those 2 brothers that comment on every Donald Trump tweet.
Well, and think about I mean, have you ever gone in the comments or the replies on Twitter? It's called replies of a Donald Trump tweet, and it's just like all K-pop videos.
Yeah. Dude, you know what's even worse?
I don't know how Twitter works. I
don't either.
Still can't figure.
I don't
it
have
out.
It's more or less like Facebook, but just less buttons to push.
I still can't figure it out.
So anyway, that reminds me, I found this Twitter account. Someone had posted pictures of it, and it's even worse than the people like on Donald Trump. It's literally around here, Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah. It's
just this lady, 30-year-old, something like that comments on every Arkansas Razorback sports post saying, "Guys look so bad. The guys look bad. Look terrible tonight. Look bad." Every single post they get on there, "Guys don't look good. They look so bad."
Okay, so the only thing worse than a rabid football fan is a person who rabidly hates a team.
Yeah.
That's the only thing worse than like a fan that's like has like their bedroom is like Seahawks theme.
That's like fighting over sports that you're not involved in.
I'm sorry, this is probably going to offend people in the room. There is literally nothing more boring to me than listening to people who don't play sports speculate about sports.
Oh, yeah, no.
People who haven't played football for 40 years talking about how good a team is.
Yeah.
There was a guy that came into Sam's the other day.
Puts me out, dude.
He came in, and one of the guys greeted him. And this double funniness here. So the first thing is this guy walks in and Doug's like, "Can I help you find anything?" And the dude's like, "No, man, I'm just looking." And so immediately he walks away, or he just walks 2 steps, and behind our little water fountain is our owner's wife standing right there. And he's like, "Oh, hey!" And they start talking because they know each other. And then which this is not the main part of the story, but it was a funny side note. He just blew this guy off at the door, said he was just looking, and she was like, so what are you looking for? He's like, oh, I'm looking for like an 8-foot tall mirror, you know, which we definitely do not have. And then she told him, she's like, yeah, we don't have that. And she's like, oh, thank you. You just saved me so much time from walking around this whole store. Which, that's a side note. That makes us angry. But secondly, he was talking, it was her and her daughter who was like 13, 14. Mm-hmm. And he was like talking to the daughter, but talking really at the mom.
Yeah.
So she would be like impressed. And he was talking to the daughter, and he's like, yeah, you know, I was the cool kid, went to all the parties, captain of the football team. I did this and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and now, you know, I'm in a spot where I make good money. I live pretty good and blah, blah, blah. And he's just talking himself up and up and up at this little girl just so her mom would hear what he was saying. And we're like, God, this dude's like, he's like, yeah, quarterback 92 state champs. He's like, oh, my Letterman's in my car. You want to see my Letterman? Okay. You want to see it? No? Okay.
Oh,
no,
the quarterback in 1992 before I was born?
I feel like the other side of that is like people will play music. It's like, oh, what are you doing? Being poor.
Yeah. Being super broke.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's like, do you play football? Yeah, but I never went pro. Oh, so you're homeless.
So you're homeless.
Or like that guy was probably like, yeah, I turned down 5 D1 offers just so I could weld.
We didn't like the school. No. It's like,
trade works where it's at.
that's like when I hear like coworkers talk about football and they're just like, I'm just so-and-so's looking really good this season. Somebody's like, yeah. I'm like, neither of you know.
Yeah.
You guys don't know. And we're all just pretending that you know.
No. He was looking good, like fresh, dude. Did you not see
He had his gold
cut?
chains on.
Yeah.
Like the cut G.
I forgot to wear mine.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I was
Screw football fans.
If you've ever been to a football game, we ain't friends.
All right. This has been the Guys Afternoon In. Season 2.
Season 2.
Season 2
3.
wrapped.
Season 3, right around the corner. Don't unsubscribe or anything. It's literally, we're taking like 2 or 3 weeks
We
off.
don't make any promises to be any better.
This is more or less just an excuse to play games and have a break.
I might put like a color correction layer over next season. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I feel like
we're getting
every
spicy.
Season, so we added video. I feel like we need to add something else now, right?
It's 3D.
3D.
It's 3D.
That's what it is.
Okay, so take this
VR,
time.
3D.
virtual reality
Yeah,
podcast.
Take
Oculus.
this time to order 3D
Yes,
glasses.
you need to get Oculus.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You can sit in the room with us.
There we go.
We can get one of those cameras.
I know.
How do you even do that?
Like the 360 cameras?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not
Is
that.
that how you make those?
Kind
Yeah,
of a
they're not
domed
that pricey.
camera. You put it in a program
We'll
that
just-
stitches it all together.
And we can just put it right in the middle, and it'll do the
YouTube
whole
knows
room.
how to handle it.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
And yeah, you can just watch it. And
You want to sit here next
All right,
to Chad?
next season, 360
All right, let's go.
Peace out. See y'all next year.
Bye.